Okay, so now let's turn to the current project, and we will have a short presentation trying to explain the role so far for each partner. I forgot to tell you that my background. I teach at the University of Lisbon. I teach linguistics, so this is my background. So here you can see all our partners in the current project. We kept the original partners, but we increased our team with valuable assets: Mark Rocca, Carmen Meyer, and Ivana Marenti. So this is how we decided to design our project. So as you can see,
and in the meantime, just to explain, and in the meantime, Adami, that's me, moved from the University of Pescara in Italy to the University of Leeds, so we didn't have to add another partner because we had another country altogether within the project.
Yes, this is why we forced Elisabetta to move to England.
Yeah,
to
exactly. I would have never ever gone there otherwise.
That's the only reason. Yeah. So as you can see here, we have a three-tiered organization of work in our project. The bulk is made up of teaching, researching staff in academic context, basically. But we also added a corporate dimension that is represented by Carmen Meyer, who works in a corporate dimension, university context. And then we have this center here at the center, and the key person is Ivana, who's responsible for the development of the e-platform and customizing LearnWeb into the UMade for All platform. That is very useful for us, but Ivana, we will talk later about the specific functionalities that have been developed for UMade for All's purposes. And then we have the link, what we call the link to the job market. Mark is always, we make fun of this, but this is very important to us because it's Mark is managing director of the leading digital agency, Rocca Creative Thinking. So this is an essential part of our project and for our students. Okay, so the three different intellectual outputs of our project, and the intellectual output is projectees for projectees jargon for different research outputs, and that we have three different core activities that we're working on in the UMade for All project. The first one is the e-learning platform, and Ivana will talk about it later on. The second one is the core part of the project, that is the joint inter-academic and international syllabus. And the third one is the development, the future, hopefully future development of a common European framework of reference for digital literacy that is, in our intentions, will be based on the rationale of the common European framework for languages, but having including descriptors for each level of competence for students. But Elisabetta will talk about this later on. So in terms of aims and methods, here you see that this is very similar to what we had in the pilot project. But a first significant difference is English, because we have native speakers of English in the current project. So English is not one of the areas of teaching. English is just used as the language of communication in this case. We, of course, still have multimodality as the general framework, theoretical framework, and we still use digital text, but we have incorporated corporate videos, and that Carmen will be responsible for that. We also explore the possibility of encouraging the development of critical and metacritical skills in designing, producing, analyzing, and interpreting digital texts, and also exploring their ability to assess and peer assess on a peer assessment grid, similar to what we already talked about, experimenting on common teaching and learning practices. So this is just an aside, and I won't talk a lot about this, but this may be useful for those of you who may be interested in submitting a European project, because we had to translate EU priorities into intellectual outputs. So that is the result of our understanding of EU priorities. So if you just get hold of this kind of thing can be maybe of inspiration for other similar projects, because that proved essential for getting the money, basically. And so here I just like to give you a very short overview of the differences from what we had in the pilot project. So the first stage is the same. The second one, that is the curricular, the fundament, the basics of the course in different the five university contexts, using English as the language of communication. Then the second stage is teachers going to other universities and replicating the workshops in different contexts, so students being taught the same module in their home universities. The third stage is exactly the same, but students interacting on an international level. And the last stage is, as Sandra was explaining, that is something that we addressed after basically students' feedback after the pilot project, and will include a training, a one-day training, a hands-on workshop at Rocca. Mark will talk about it later on. And then we will have students meeting in Aarhus, and they will have the chance to meet in person. That is important, interact in person, and having the chance to present their activities and showing their productions, and also having the chance to meet practitioners and academics in the context of management and marketing communication by top academics in Denmark. So this is going to be fun, I think. So just let me tell you a couple of things in terms of the adaptation from the pilot project to the international context. We had many issues and challenges, of course, to face. To start with, different institution practices and constraints, and here I've only mentioned different ethics policies, and that was huge. And Elisabetta will talk about ethics procedures and how we found a common ground to work on this data, especially because when it comes, for example, to video interactions, when our students' faces are shown, this is sensitive data, so we had to take particular care in addressing these issues, and also in terms of universities' policies. And as I said before, different levels of language proficiency, because we have upper intermediate students to native speakers, so we had to find ways to minimize these differences, thus lowering control on language and giving less importance to the teaching of language per se. And then we also have different degree courses, different academic background. As I said before, we had arts and humanities in the pilot project. Now we have a corporate dimension that's making the scenario more rich, but also more complex at the same time. Different levels of digital literacy, and also we face the need for quality control assurance, not to be slave to European and national policies on this, because we are at the moment I'm obsessed by this quality controls at the university level, but because we thought it was necessary for us to have external people from different contexts to make sure that we were doing a good job, basically. And in terms of preparation activity that we've been developing in year one, I only talk about baseline survey, because this I think may be interesting and useful to get real data to prepare the final output, that is the common framework for digital literacy. And this is an online form that is available in the UMade for All platform that's been developed by Ivana and her team, and divided into 4 sections. One inquiring or asking for independent variables in our students, then a second section devoted to previous academic and professional experience in multimodality in our students, then familiarity and interest, because interest is very important in multimodal theories of semiotics of communication in our students. And the last part is about teaching and learning styles and previous experiences with online platforms, use of this sort of collaborative environments, and also previous experiences in terms of peer assessment that is very, very different in different countries, as you all know. So this, as I said before, very quickly will be a tool to measure the progress of students at the beginning and at the end of the joint syllabus, and it will be used to provide descriptors for the common European digital framework. But Elisabetta will give you more details, even though this is a work in progress, of course, because this will be the final output of the project. So now please, Ilaria and Sandra, and I'm done. Promise.